And we are live. Thank you for coming back once again. I'm a little under the weather right now, so forgive me for sounding terrible. But we were going to be recording just a second. You guys ready?
Absolutely.
All right. And coming to you guys. Hold on. Coming to you guys in 3, 2.
This is a Play Your Way network presentation. Get the full story at PlayLifeYourWay.com. In a world where comics, movies, games, rumors, and Kardashians come at you 24/7, 3 champions will rise to defend you from wasting precious time, money, and emojis. BK, Nate, and Derek will show you how to do it the player way.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, with all due respect, this is your resident DJ, BK, coming at you, helping you understand how to curate your media
the player way.
Yes, and I never do this thing alone. I got my co-captains, Nate.
That's me, maintaining the system.
Yeah, putting it back together. Glad to have you back, brother.
Thank you. Glad to be back. And
Derek.
That's me, representing that Texas, and I am doing my best to corrupt the system. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year to you, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Doing it the player way, man. That's what's up. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening and coming back with us. This is the first podcast from
the player way
for 2018. I know you guys are super excited to be back with us, and we're going to make it a little worth your while, okay? So already over the – well, first of all, before I get into anything, how was y'all's New Year's celebrations, respectively?
I had a very, very 34-year-old New Year's celebration. Got together, some family, tossed back a few Michelob Ultra Lime, and played some Cards Against Humanity. And was probably out like a light by like 1:20 in the morning.
That's what's up. You had to shut it down. What about you, Nate?
Yeah, I went out in Hollywood actually at the Hotel Roosevelt.
Well, look at you.
New Year's shindig. So.
Wow. He said that so just like, oh, by the way, just boom. When you live like this,
I'm telling you,
jumping off.
Right? I had a one up us big time, dude.
Year-old New Year's celebration.
I remember what it was like to be 32.
Oh.
You know what we did
in the good old days.
Yeah. We had some fun on our 32nd birthdays, respectively, for sure. Yes. Yeah, I had a very tame New Year's celebration as well. Mm-hmm. I started coming down with something. You can kind of hear it in my voice. If you are a long-time listener, then you can tell that there's something going on. I'm sounding verklempt, but it's just a little sinus situation. Ching. So I could feel it. I could feel it already coming in there. And Rachel's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I think I want to get roasted duck from a Chinese restaurant and then watch Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. And we watched it later in the day. I mean, you know, as late as we could. And then we came back over to the house, popped some bubbly and watched Ryan Seacrest.
Pop some bubbly.
Dude, some bubbly in your and I don't know if any of you guys, well, Nate, I know you didn't. Derek, you might have watched
the whole season. Oh, whoop.
No. I was talking about New Year's festivities, watching what's his
Steve
face?
Harvey be a fool,
make a fool out of himself. I'm telling you, dude.
I'll say this: like we had it on because it was age appropriate. You know what I mean? Like we couldn't go wrong. And every time I tuned in, I couldn't understand. Like I would rather have a drunk Dick Clark from the grave hosting it, arguing with Ryan Seacrest, as opposed to I don't know what. And then a wedding happened.
It was so weird.
Oh yeah, I read about that. Maria Menounos.
It was so weird. Fox had a cringe-worthy celebration.
Dude.
It was every time I turned back over there, it was in between Ryan Seacrest's like commercial breaks. So we'd go back and Steve Harvey just looked like somebody's old uncle. Like it was
I didn't
weird.
know who these they just picked people out the crowd and put a fur coat on them and said, "Hey, are you sing?"
It was like, so weird.
Trash was everywhere. Like they were trying to have this sweet moment listening to Bon Jovi, but there's like trash blowing all around them, and no one's in the back. Weird. It was so awkward.
It was Maria Menounos.
To me.
Go ahead, bro.
Why would they think that was a good idea to get married on public television on New Year's Eve?
Well,
when everybody's watching
impromptu.
this thing for like the New Year's festivities, they're not expecting, oh, by the way, we got a special wedding presentation of Maria Menounos. You know?
Exactly.
An impromptu thing where he surprised her, but then I was like, oh, she just had a wedding dress in her purse just to whip on. That was also a little surprise, and it was just supposed to be like a surprise event, but
they spoiled the surprise.
Your
they
reaction,
told you what was going on.
Yes, exactly.
They told you what was going to happen. It was weird. It was the weirdest thing. They were like, "Oh, and by the way, stay tuned because this is going to happen."
Stay tuned after this commercial break.
Can you watch? They cut. I hope they cut the commercial before they said "I do" and left like a cliffhanger.
It was so awkward. The kiss was awkward. It was just painful.
Yeah. First of all, it's fucking cold. You know, all these people.
It was zero. It was like -6. The wind.
All the people that go there early in the morning to watch the ball drop weren't expecting, you know, oh man, we got to sit through Maria Menounos' wedding first.
No one did.
Fair enough.
Oh,
not my
it was
way.
not. It was not. That was
absolutely
that was a moment of silence.
Definitely a moment of silence. We're definitely gonna have to do something for them.
No, they did enough. They did enough. We didn't need to know, but they told us we don't need to know. It's over and done with.
Absolutely.
Did you see? I don't know if did you see how awkward it was with the Bon Jovi thing? Did that not?
I for sure saw it. It was it was. Well, see, what made it even more awkward is because this year, because of Mariah Carey messing up last year, everybody was for sure to not use like background tracks at all. Everybody wanted to sing live this year, and everybody was terrible live. So that was
the actual Bon Jovi and the band they were playing live.
Yeah, they serenaded them while they were doing their first dance.
Did you think that? I thought that was like pre-recorded. Honestly,
I can't even remember what
it wasn't even like a. It wasn't a popular song. Yeah.
Song. Oh, really?
But I feel like it was pre-recorded because he wasn't there, and it was just via video. Like,
they never showed them. They never showed them in the same place at the same time.
Oh God!
Yeah. Ever. He was like clearly in a studio singing in like it was just a hot mess.
Yeah.
It was a mess.
And then and all of them took a L because all of the different stations that did it live in New York took a L because it was cold as hell. Like it was like the coldest it's ever been. Oh. So everybody was like uncomfortably like cold. But yeah, that's what happened there.
And Mariah Carey did it again 2 years in a row. She went ahead and
absolutely. She did a better job this year. Something else that happened on New Year's that was a different. I don't know if you guys have caught the epidemic that is HQ Trivia yet.
No.
Have you guys heard about it? HQ Trivia is this new application. It started out on iOS, but on New Year's, they launched the Android version of it. But it is a live game show that happens at 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. every single day. And you actually win real money. So, like Rachel and I have been playing like every day because it's a lot of fun, but it's hard. It's hard as shit. They ask a lot of trick questions. They got a lot. You would like this one, Derek. Like one of the questions that they got Rachel with and other people the other day was like, which one of these people were a founding member of the Black Eyed Peas? Fergie, some other lady, and Will.i.am. And of course, what most people put
Will.i.am.
They probably went with Will.i.am.
Fergie.
People put Fergie?
Because most people didn't know what
they don't even remember that she wasn't even in the band for like their first 2 or 3 albums.
Most people don't know the song Joints and Jams. Most people think
they probably remember Where's the Love, and that's where they think that.
But she was only in the.
That video was hot. That video was hot with the cinematography. Like they probably
dancing on the camera.
The first
exactly. Exactly. Which a nice little bit of trivia there. Yeah, a nice little bit of trivia. Who is the fifth person on the song "Where's the Love" that is not featured in the credit? Yes, there you go. He got it.
I honestly thought he was the only one that sang the hook.
Yep, but he's not. He wasn't credited with it. A lot of people, but no, Fergie sings it as well. She just sings like a little short part. Where is the love, the love? Exactly. So yeah. So now HQ trivia. It's a lot of fun. And you win real money. So feel free to curate your media
the player way
and download that app. Like I said, it's happening at 9 p.m. I guess it would be Eastern tonight. So you guys still got time to download it and play it later. In fact, don't download it until I send you my code. I can get extra lives. So there you go. Rachel hearing this podcast is gonna hate me because I've been getting all the extra lives from I'm not afraid to ask people. But anyway. So now we've joined 2018. We are now in the future. Can y'all believe we're only 2 years from 2020? Less than 2 years from 2020
to the roaring 20s.
I'm telling you. Exactly. So it's hopefully we're not headed toward another Great Depression, although if economics is
that bubble's
real,
gonna pop pretty quick.
Oh, it's gonna burst and we're all gonna be in trouble. Yeah. And never mind. I was gonna make a fun joke, but
no.
Exactly. It would be at our expense. But anyway, now that we are in 2018, it's time to start focusing on what really matters in life, and that is how we are going to be entertained this year. And the primary source of entertainment that we talk about, exactly, and the primary source of entertainment on this podcast is movies. We like to talk about a lot of film, and 2018, there's a lot of anticipated media coming. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well, according to IMDb, here are several items that are going to be, and we're going to kind of go through and talk about the ones that we like the most. But before I do, you're going to notice, which is no surprise to anybody who has a pulse in today's day and age, or at least understands the plot of life. Most of these are going to be comic book adaptations, recycled old franchises, or anime adaptations, because that's what people want to see. People want to be mesmerized. People want to be shown and taken on a cinematic adventure, if you will. So, because just like at any time when you're a kid and you're having fun, you're outside and you're with a group of your friends, what always breaks up the fun when you're outside with your friends when you were a kid?
Parents. Someone
some
gets
old
hurt.
Lady, some old lady who doesn't know anybody, who doesn't have any kids, who just ain't got nothing else better to do but to come outside in her apron and say, "Hey, y'all get off that green transformer.
Get out from around that transformer.
Get away from around there. If I'm gonna tell your mama." And she always knows your name.
Where your
and
folks
she always
at?
knows your mom. Now, Derek in particular, and I know your mama. Yeah, you know she don't play that. Exactly. Why you gotta single me out? Exactly.
I know, and then you just spend the next 12 minutes getting roasted by your friends. you know, so grandma and a moo-moo, how did you? You know what I'm saying?
Brian, come get this boy. Exactly. But yeah, so just like when you were a kid, what ended up happening is some old, crusty, wrinkled lady, aka Jodie Foster, who can't get hired to be in any of these major cinematic adventures. She's upset.
She directed one of the Black Mirrors in this most recent season, though. I don't know if you saw that. She directed one of them.
Well, yeah. but not one of these cinematic adventures we're going to talk about.
See her though, right?
Exactly. She's not in Guardians of the Galaxy. You know what I'm saying? She ain't on Deadpool. You know what I'm saying? If she was, she wouldn't be talking that junk. And she basically came out and credited and criticized these films because studios are only making these films to make money, and she said it's tantamount to fracking. And if you're not familiar with fracking is, it's basically depleting the natural resources of a place and then moving on to another place, with oil in particular being the natural resource in that analogy. And so she's basically saying that these studios are just sucking the life out of the art of film, and they're just making movies just to make money. But last time I checked, what was the point of any business? to make money. Exactly. So it's like
you play
like, let's
to
not
win the game.
Exactly. I never have any sort of feelings, any sort of sympathy for a millionaire trying to sit up and cause a stir. You know, when they get to go to bed and bathe themselves in the millions of dollars that they've made. You know, it's like, come on.
Like her stating that is tantamount to fracking. Like how? Like since when? Like that would mean that Star Wars movies are tantamount to fracking. That would mean that any movie that's not a quote unquote true film, that would mean almost a comedy.
Well,
what's her basis? Like just superhero movies this day and age, or she just mad because she's not in them?
Exactly. If she was benefiting in any sort of way, she wouldn't be saying, you know, this is from the same lady who was riding the wave of UFO and alien films when she was in Contact. Remember back in the 90s, and they had tons of fires in the sky, aliens, you know, all of these like UFO franchises that came.
Yep.
Yes, all of them. Michael, which that was kind of like, and then they also had like angels along with it. It was like angels and UFO, things coming from the heavens.
Yeah.
And then
Powder. Remember Powder?
Yes, Powder.
That was
then they had like in the late 90s, they had like the meteor, natural disaster, earthquake, volcano films. And then like before that, there was all kinds of like martial arts films, and you know, so there's always some sort of, you know, think about how film started. When film got its real big push is when you got to the Westerns and John Wayne and everything. And that's all you saw was nothing but Western films, to the point where it gave birth to country music as a genre, you know, rockabilly and all these other genres of country music, you know. So, you know, I really feel like she's just upset because, you know, she doesn't have a dog in the fight right now.
People,
you know, like go ahead.
Well, I'm just gonna. People also said the same thing when the industry was transitioning from actually using film to digital. You know, they were like, "Oh, this is going to destroy it," even though it's 100 times cheaper. But we live in a world where there's 52 weeks in a year, and these studios need to put out at least a movie a year or a week.
Yeah,
you know, there needs to be 2 to 3 movies a week. Franchises, comic books, they offer you a solution to that mass production. You know,
well, and not only that, but we're in an era where younger people have more buying power than they used to have. Where shout out to Derek on the last episode of the Playway podcast, the deep dive. He talked about the toys that made us. Love that show. Nate, have you seen that yet?
It's the Star Wars one.
Dude, keep watching them, dude. The He-Man, the Masters of the Universe, to me is the best one.
I watched the I still have one. That's my last one. But I opened it up with the Barbie one just because it went in line with there were some Barbies given out around Christmas. So I'm like, here, let's watch some history on it. A little parts of it, I was like, a little more adult than I thought, but
it started off really adult.
But honestly, man, like I appreciate it was one of those things. I had that feeling of the Founder, seeing kind of like how it goes and then how it can get swept right under feet. And I didn't even realize that old girl, or I wouldn't have remembered because I was a kid, that she was placing orders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you owned the business for 3 decades and then you were scamming.
Man. I'm telling you, dude.
But that whole story about with Jim, how Barbie was like, all right, we'll put this shit to production. We got this, like, roll. Yes. And then she was like, the look up in their faces. Like, I want some toy creator that was working on Jim to have seen that and just like their souls would be like, that's what happened.
That's why Jim failed. It should have dominated. It's like everybody always talks about how like brilliant and bright Jim was and the music was, and you're like, and it was just over like overnight. Like, I don't know why that wouldn't have worked when Masters of the Universe worked. That's why Barbie engineered the assassination on that one. Oh. Now that thing circled you up around Dealey's Plaza, back and to the left, back and to the left. I'm telling you, dude, it was. I'm telling you, dude, it was crazy, dude. Yeah, so that was.
It's pretty interesting, Nate. It's got those. What'd you think about the Star Wars one, Nate?
It was okay.
Oh, all right. What else did you do this weekend?
Honestly,
anything that has to do with consumerism, like Nate is like, meh.
It was interesting but I was never big into the Star Wars toys. I will check out the He-Man because I was into that, and
Masters of the Universe is to me it's the best one.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then I was older, and then I started getting into comics, so I started getting into like X-Men toys, and so
you'll appreciate it, especially if you watch especially watch that one.
I don't think I ever got into Star Wars toys. Like I don't think I even owned any.
Well, yeah, and Star Wars, the reason being is because of that dark time is when we were coming of age. So during the dark time after, there's this period of time they call it the dark time. Derek, there's a period of time they call the dark time. I'm gonna try to get this sentence out.
A dark time where we were running through 6 to 8 pillowcases.
There was this period of time called the dark time that I'm gonna get through this statement, damn it. There's a conspiracy to not let us through here.
Conspiracy. What is? All right, a dark time. It was a dark and stormy night.
There was a dark time. There was a dark time right after Return of the Jedi premiered in theaters and it went to VHS. We were all little at that period of time. So when it came time, Masters of the Universe was the thing that we were into. Transformers, Ghostbusters, yada yada yada. So we kind of missed the boat on that. Where it's relevant is it really helped us understand why we didn't see so much Star Wars. I mean, I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I didn't even really get into Star Wars until college because
I appreciated, like, you know, like I said, the movie. However, I didn't have many Star Wars toys really until like when Phantom Menace came out. Like I went and got a few like Darth Maul things, but that was it. So, you know what I mean?
Exactly. But basically, moving along to the point of all of that, because we kind of went off on a tangent, as we commonly do on this podcast. There's these old-fashioned ways that Jodie Foster has when she looks at her own industry, and even James Gunn, the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, he had some comments to say in response to her. He said, "I think Foster looks at film in an old-fashioned way where spectacle film can't be thought-provoking. It is often true, but not always. Her belief system is pretty common and isn't totally without basis. I say not without basis because most studio franchise films are somewhat soulless, and that is the real danger of the future of movies. But there are also quite a few expectations." He also says, "For cinema to survive, I believe spectacle films need to have a vision and heart, like Nate said, heart, humor, and spectacle." That they traditionally have it, and some of us are doing our best to move in that direction. Creating spectacle films that are innovative, humane, and thoughtful is what excites me about this job. So there you go. So he was nice to her. He inoculated her without completely destroying her, which I could appreciate him doing. But yeah, she's just old fashioned. She's an old fuddy duddy.
World's changing, boys. It's time we change with it. You know?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
It is really.
It is. It's
those things. One of the most things.
There's years, decades worth of stories to tell from comic books that are untapped, untouched, and people are starting. I mean, over the last 10 years, they've realized it more and more, and you know, it's only a matter of time before we're getting 6 to 7 Marvel movies a year.
Yeah, and that's the thing I hate about her statement is it shows her ignorance of the art form. I mean, these are just because they have pictures doesn't mean this is literature.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of
even
important.
If you do make an artsy movie, it can fucking suck.
It really can.
You do have your you have your Nolans, you have your Scorsese, but I don't know if you watched Scorsese's latest movie, Silence.
Exactly.
But that shit was stupid. Like it was terrible.
Well, and man, just tell us how you really feel, Nate. Have you saw
the movie?
Really?
Yeah.
What was it like?
You can imagine what it's like with about 2 traveling priests going to feudal Japan trying to teach them Christianity.
That sounds exciting to me.
All right. Go watch the movie. It's on Amazon. Go right ahead. I'd love to hear your thoughts afterwards.
All right. Man, Nate.
Spider-Man and Kylo Ren, too. Even better. Oh, and Qui-Gon's in the movie.
I might have to check that out. But no, I mean, you kind of told me the Nano on that one. But what I think
look, I watch it because it's a Scorsese movie. I love his movies, so I will watch every one he comes out with. But that doesn't mean everyone is good.
Right. And again, going back to what my point was, is people have spent a lot of time, their whole lives. There are people who have lived and died now, and lived and died and lived and died. I mean, we talk about, comic books have been around since the turn of the 20th century. So, and we're now in the 21st century, like knee deep into it. So the people have born and died while creating these awesome graphic novelizations. And so to say that there's no soul to them and let's call it fracking is to just shit on people's whole careers, their whole legacies. Yeah. Bob Kane, really while he stole the idea of Batman, he still gave birth to it, So.
And honestly, like, it's just it is a different form of art, but look at Robert Downey Jr.'s like career since he got the opportunity to be Tony Stark. You know what I mean? Like, he has donned that role, worn it, and I can rarely see anybody else other than him being Iron Man. Like, when I think of Iron Man, I think of him first presently. I don't think of Adrian Pasdar from the cartoons, his voice. But honestly, like as you said, it's shitting on his whole career. Like, he's been doing this at a decade, and he's been doing it well.
Or even to shit, or even to shit on the Academy Award,
the gigantic team of people that put this together. Like,
or she's also shitting on the posthumous Academy Award that Heath Ledger got, for an amazing role, an amazing bit of acting that he did that I think does enrich people, But
like, I'm looking at her filmography right now, and like, I'm all the way back at 2004 on like the first 12 things, so she hasn't been acting in much. And, like,
she's been directing.
I think the last movie I saw her in was Elysium.
Yeah,
and that was the last major one.
Which was a dumb fucking movie.
But Elysium was basically trying to cash in on the same kind of audience. So she's a hypocrite, dude. Like, it's just weird. It's always weird to me. But anyway, to move beyond the stupidity and move toward something more mature, let's talk about all the comic book movies coming out.
We got our guest Jodie Foster on the show.
Exactly. So I'd like to start with Han Solo, a Star Wars story. That one's going to be coming out this year, almost immediately right after the opening weekend of The Last Jedi. The poster started going up in theaters. How excited are you guys about this one?
I never wanted a Han Solo movie, but being a Star Wars fan, it has my money. I will go see it. But I wouldn't put it at the top of my list of most anticipated films of this year.
Yeah, they're definitely cashing in on Donald Glover for sure. They're really they're really trying to. They're really banking on that. People love Donald Glover. Hopefully his star has not faded already. They got Warwick Davis in there, which that kind of concerns me a little bit, because Warwick Davis, if you guys remember, he originally played one of the Ewoks. But then I've also heard that he did R2-D2 in some of the
yeah, I think
films.
He's played quite a number of Star Wars characters.
He was like R2-D2 in like the recent ones. Is that what he is?
No, I don't think in the recent ones. I think in some of the prequels. Because he did him.
Oh, okay.
I think he did him in the prequels.
Gotcha.
Because he was a kid when the original ones came out, and he played the Ewok. That's where he first came in. One of the little Ewok characters, the little teddy bear looking one.
Gotcha. It had him. He was in Rogue One and he was in The Last Jedi, but neither of them have him credited as R2. Like Rogue One has him as Weetif QB, and then Star Wars: The Last Jedi had him as Wody Ben.
Exactly.
So
any short alien in the movie.
Yeah, right. Like that's what he was.
Yeah.
I don't know much
Andy
about
Serkis,
Alden.
get in here.
I don't know much about Alden Ehrenreich.
I don't know. You know,
he said he made his
there's a
film
lot of
debut.
bad press surrounding his performance. Like one of the reasons why they got rid of the original directors, they hired an acting coach for this guy, something like that.
I've heard is that he was really hyped. He's been hyped by like people like Francis Ford Coppola and people like that. So I think he may be one of those people who really actually not too different from what's that dude's name who played he played Darth Vader in the prequels.
Oh, Hayden Christensen.
Yes, the guy we can't remember anymore. Like he was hyped to be this great
Jumper
actor.
was a great movie. All right, Samuel L. Jackson donned white hair to chase this kid all around.
Scar tissue.
Yeah. So, I'm looking forward to just seeing Clint Howard, just because it's a Ron Howard film. So I just can't wait to see what Clint Howard's gonna be.
Clint Howard is like, it's about time for him to make a comeback, in my opinion. Like this dude is the staple. I remember when they ended up giving him like, I think it was like either a Screen Actors Guild. I think it was a Screen Actors Guild award for like
a lifetime, maybe.
Yeah, it was like a lifetime achievement for like being a character actor and like really
for having a famous brother and a good director for a brother.
Exactly. So we got that. I also hate the name of the film too. I hate the logo actually.
Solo.
Doesn't it look like kind of just
Solo Cups? Yeah. It looks like Solo Cups.
Yeah.
I was like, the cups.
Like I'll see this because it's a Star Wars movie, but like Nate said, like I don't need everything I know about Han is enough.
Yeah.
Like I don't need any more. I don't need it.
I don't need to see the upbringing of who was really a pretty bad smuggler because he always owed people money, always lost his cargo.
Owed everyone money.
Yeah.
Like wasn't this the one that the directors dropped out last summer or something? Or
they got fired.
Removed from it? Okay, yeah. Because even on the IMDb, it has so many. It still has a lot of people saying rumored or something. It doesn't even. And this is just 5 months away. So I don't.
It's weird that we haven't
I
seen
appreciated
a trailer
Rogue One.
Yeah,
or a teaser or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Speaking of teasers and all of this stuff, in April, this was off the beaten path. Just want to switch it up a little bit. Derek, I know you might be excited about this one. I might be wrong, but Super Troopers 2.
I'm excited about seeing them again. My only drawback is I don't want an Anchorman 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what I don't want. Super Troopers didn't really need a sequel. I would have been fine if they maybe tried to Reno 911 this into a series, but I don't know.
Now that being said, a great reference because Reno 911, the movie is actually pretty damn funny. I don't know if you've ever seen it. That is a funny movie. I feel like it's an underrated film.
I feel like it, but it had had that whole series, and then, but I just don't know if Super Troopers needed it. I don't know if it need. I'll watch it, but I don't know if I'll see it in theaters. Like
I don't think anybody will.
Like a solid opening.
No one's again. These are sequels that come out. When did 2002, 2001?
Yeah, this is at least a 15-year sequel.
Yeah, so these don't have a good track record of comedy movies, comedy sequels that are coming out decades later.
Speaking of,
like Hangover was the last like good sequel type of movie, but then Hangover 3 kind of
exactly.
Hangover 2 was bad, but I mean that's besides the point.
Speaking of not a good track record in theaters, Tomb Raider is coming out in March. That's one I've already seen trailers for.
This is a reboot, though. Have you seen the trailer?
Yes, I've seen it. I saw it several times.
What do you think about it?
I'm not impressed. First of all, the chick looks boring. She cannot act.
First of all, it ain't Lara Croft. Let me just tell you that because the video game version of Lara Croft had all that.
For one, she can act because I don't know if you ever watched Ex Machina, but that's a very good movie with her in it.
Where did she play the android?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're giving me.
She should not have been Lara Croft. I don't.
Okay, all right. At least we can agree on that.
Yeah.
All right. I love that Derek put his hand over his head because he knew what I was doing. He knew what I was headed next. But no. Like I mean, I will.
So she's good at acting with no emotions. Oh, so she's Blake Lively. Thank you. We can get Blake Lively to do this.
Oh my God, Blake Lively. That's such a good and a little bit of Emilia Clarke too, because Emilia Clarke, if she wasn't Daenerys Targaryen, is a great one for her, but everything else I've seen her in has been terrible.
Sarah Connor.
Oh, man, terrible. Fucking terrible. I will give an honorable mention to my homeboy James Turner. He saw the trailer of Tomb Raider and he said it's actually almost frame for frame from the video game. So it may be okay if
that's what kind of got me a little excited, because there were some aspects of it. I was like, this really reminds me of like Tomb Raider PS1. But
no, it's a remake of the Tomb Raider reboot games.
Yeah.
So the rebooted games, so the ones that came out,
the current one that's on like PS4. My bad.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's the reboot of those. So that's why her looks. So that's the reason why her look is different, because she's more supposed to look like that Lara Croft, not ours.
The one that goes jogging, if you will.
Exactly. So in other words, hashtag not my Lara Croft. So that's how I feel about that one. Any films that you guys are interested in coming out this year?
I hit you with some quick hitters.
One that comes out in February. It's weird because they haven't even released a trailer or anything yet for it, but it comes out in February 2nd. It's the third Cloverfield movie, set in the universe. First being Cloverfield.
Oh, really?
Second being 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Cloverfield
and third is God Particle, which stars Zemo, the Sovereign Lady from Guardians. Yeah. I don't know her name.
I have little picture.
But is this sealed?
Oh man, we're off the rails. I just had to do it. So he's in it. Okay.
Well, Zemo, not Quicksilver.
No.
Mission Report.
Exactly.
Yeah, that guy.
That's why I said Mission Report.
I thought you said I had.
I said that one later. I said that one later, but no, I said Mission Report first.
December 16.
Exactly. But no, that one, so that's coming out. I'm excited for Creed 2 that supposedly is coming out in November. I loved Creed. Creed was really my movie, bro. Oh, I might go watch that tonight.
Creed was great. Creed, I'm excited about that one. One that's coming out this month that I'm a little excited just because I appreciate a good heist film.
Are you really excited about that one?
Absolutely. I don't know if you know much about the what's all going into Den of Thieves, but yeah, I'm excited about.
I thought you were talking about something else. My bad.
What did you think of? What heist movie were you talking about?
I thought you were talking about Ocean's 8.
I mean, it's another Oceans. I'm excited to see what they got, see what these old folks are talking about, but I'm more excited about Den of Thieves. That looks very...
Yeah, Den of Thieves does look good.
Like, Curtis 50 Cent, I got to support them. You know what I mean?
That movie looks really good. That trailer, I remember seeing a teaser for it and I wasn't impressed. And then I saw the full-on trailer and I remember saying in the theater, this is going to be good. Like, I'm telling you.
It looks... I'm definitely going to see that one. And I will say there's this one kind of a childhood appreciation movie that's coming out because I really like the book. And they've made this movie in different pieces, but I've never really appreciated. So I'm really curious how they're going to do it this time, especially with how CGI and everything is these days. A Wrinkle in Time. Yeah, and that's like one of those movies where you can do so much. Like it could be a visually stunning one of those where it's never crossed that threshold from book to film. So I feel like I'm setting up myself up for like another disappointment just because that.
Yes.
I'm excited to just see but Yeah,
because what's the one that had Idris Elba in it over the summer?
Dark Tower.
Dark Tower. Ever since the Dark Tower and both Valerian, because Valerian also was a popular book series as well. Ever since those two films, I'm very concerned for any book adaptations.
Which leads me to the Meg. coming out later on this year. That another book. What you just said was exactly what I thought as I was looking at it. Like the book was really intense, and there hasn't been a good shark movie in a while. I think Deep Blue Sea was the last one that I appreciated. I mean, I guess there is Sharknado.
Yep.
But we're gonna go ahead and move past it. I said that. But just like you said, book series, like the Meg is a great book series, or Meg is a great book series. But I feel like everyone's gonna associate this to Family Guy. They're not gonna know what the heck they're watching, and we probably see a bad shark film and subpar graphics.
Right.
So just the fact that it has all that background just pulls it back. You're right.
And then going along that same line of talking, you got Ready Player One. That's also
Man. I feel like just watching the trailer is enough for me. Like, don't mess it up. Let me just leave it at the trailer. Let me just be curious about it. But it's like you said, this is going to be a Valerian. Yeah. Like you said this.
I'm really concerned. I think what's going to I think what's going to save it is the nostalgia pieces with seeing the DeLorean and the Giant and different. I even saw a little clip of
2049 kind of feel to it.
Well, not even that. No, like just all the different nostalgia pieces. I mean, when the DeLorean comes on the screen, people are going to be happy. When they see the Giant from the Giant, that's going to be excited. When they play Overwatch as Overwatch characters, like that's going to be exciting. So what's going to save Ready Player One are all of these different nostalgia pieces, all these characters that they throw in from other franchises that you love. You're going to be excited to see those on screen or hearing, even down to the fact that the theme song is even bringing in notes of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Like if you listen to it, it's kind of like a remake of that song. So I'm actually getting goosebumps thinking about those things. So I don't know if it's going to be that great of a film.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you think just people are only going to be, it was cool to just see those things in a movie? However, the movie itself, maybe not.
I mean, that's what was great about the book series anyway, is that it was one of the earliest pieces of literature that pulled in like media and pulled it into a book series. And you were like, oh, you can do that? You can bring in characters from other things that I like. So I think as long as they do that, it's going to be very Tron-ish.
It can't be worse than Pixels. It can't be worse than
Isn't it just one book?
Remember that one with Adam Sandler?
It is one book. It is one book, but it pulls a lot of different characters from other popular media into the book. Mm. And then
quell your excitement, please.
And all right. So let's do this. Okay, so we've talked about all these things. What is the one film that you think is kind of not on everybody's radar that you are really excited about? I'll start to give y'all time. The Equalizer 2, it's supposedly coming out in August. I am a huge fan of the Equalizer franchise. I'm all about like these old
one film before
these old. Well, see, but there's tons of other films like it. No, but there's tons of other films exactly like it, like The Foreigner
concept,
and
Expendables.
If I find you, I'll kill you.
Taken.
Like it's all of these different films of these old men who no one knows what they used to do and they come out and kick ass. I like all of these films. It reminds you that when you're in traffic and you decide to get out of your car, there's always a risk that a guy could punch you in the throat when you think you're a Billy Badass. So it's one of those things where it's like these films remind me like maybe I don't need to be talking in this dude's face at Home Depot. Maybe he'll follow me home and kill me.
He might have bodied 3 people back in the early 90s. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Exactly. Wrong. For smudging his Pumas.
Exactly. For his Puma. Exactly. Shout out to Bigger and Blacker.
Nice. I don't have any like under the radar ones. Like I'm just gonna be honest. Like the kid in me is so excited about Jurassic World just because I'm gonna get to see dinosaurs on the freaking screen. Summertime blockbuster. I just like I'm amped about that. And I will say my other low key excitement was I know just with sequels and everything we can kind of get drawn out, but I'm kind of excited for Mission Impossible 6. These movies are reminding me of like Fate of the Furious scale, like espionage, but this is actually about espionage, not just some garage mechanics going all over the planet.
Just want to see it for the sole reason of why they wouldn't let Henry Cavill shave his mustache.
Yeah.
That's what the big deal was.
Well, I mean, I have yet to see a bad Mission Impossible film.
They're all enjoyable.
They're all good. Now, you know, Derek, what I thought.
Well, no, wait. Mission Impossible 2 was terrible.
What?
Mission Impossible 2 was the worst one. Mission Impossible 2.
Mission Impossible 2 was terrible.
It was the worst one, but there are worse movies than the Mission Impossible films.
What Mission Impossible was worse than Mission Impossible 2?
Yeah.
No, I said there are other films worse than a Mission Impossible film.
Yes, but I was containing in
yes. There's gonna be a worse of the franchise. So one's got to be it. It doesn't mean that it's a terrible film. I don't think Mission Impossible 2 is a terrible film.
You haven't seen.
Watch it again.
Forget that John.
Watch it again right after you watch Silence.
All
right, I'll go.
To remember that there's always going to be where a dove or pigeon will fly and flap its wings grandiosely, and then there's a shootout.
So what y'all are saying is it doesn't hold up.
It's just not a good film. It's the worst one of all of them. John Woo. John Woo's a bad director, still in my opinion.
I wish I could put y'all in a. I just wish I could go put you guys in a personal time machine so you can go back and see yourself watching that film and just be a with
the Limp Bizkit track to go with it.
Yes!
You forgot that there was a time where I roasted this movie back in the day. I'm like,
I know why you want to hate me.
Hey, it's the only one I've seen lately. I'm like, you stomped your foot in the sand and the gun sprang up vertically. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember, B? Do you remember you and I roasting that?
I do remember that. I do remember.
So, jumping off of 2 motorcycles to come head to head.
Yes,
and they're about 30 feet in the air too.
60 miles an hour. Boom.
For some reason, it starts off with him rock climbing.
Yes.
And it was a big deal because he actually did it freehand or some shit like that.
Yes, like for no reason. And then the next scene, I'm like, so how does he get down? Oh, Mission Impossible 2 is. But anyway, I'm excited about 6 because these movies have gotten big. What's his name?
Yeah.
Renner. Renner's been in the ones.
I'm not sure if he's in this one.
Ghost Protocol.
Yeah.
He was in the last 2.
I was trying to remember.
Wait, this is 6, right?
I was gonna. Yeah, I don't know if he's in this one. Yeah, he was in. He was in 4
and 5.
And yeah.
Yes.
But that whole scene in Dubai was sick.
3 was probably my favorite. I think.
Yes.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
That was the best one.
Man.
How that movie even starts out.
He was a villain. He was a villain.
Yeah.
And one of the best, like, oh, that girl is amazing scenes ever. When she gets out of that Lambo, you're like,
Maggie Q. Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, she got up, man. I'm telling you, but yeah, no, like Mission Impossible 3 is one of the best action movies ever created.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd put it in the top 20.
Like even the first one, I know it's 22 years old by now. Like it's still not bad. Like, some of the technology they had in that is stuff that's everyday use today. Like I know it was back in '96, but
dude, speaking of technology, I think we just came up on something. I think at some point, not now, but maybe in a month from now, maybe we need to come up with the top 10 best action films
ever.
Action films of our own. All right.
Yeah.
There is a low key. It's a superhero movie, but it's and it is actually going to have a theatrical release. That's just not usually a common thing. I don't know. The last thing I would kind of equate to that would have been like the soft reboot of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back in 2007 when they kind of were animated on screen. The Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is actually going to be a theatrical release later.
I'm excited. They already started showing trailers. I feel like that film can't lose. It can't lose. Derek, what I thought you were gonna say on like something that's off the beaten path, but is highly like that you anticipate is Slender Man.
Incredible.
Slender Man.
They're making a movie.
Slender Man.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I was okay with the YouTube fan horror made ones. I don't know. Like I don't want this to be like Lights Out. Lights Out was a great short horror film on YouTube, but the movie was no, thank you. Like it was a perfect 3-minute horror film.
I've seen some bad Slender Man movies, but this one, here's why they need to make a really good Slender Man film. Because 2 girls are in prison right now. Because 2 girls are in prison right now because of creepypasta. That's why. Like that is that you got to give it up. I'm telling you, ain't nobody like I don't know if anyone ever killed anybody because of Michael Myers in real life. Like Slender Man took some people with him.
Like the urban legend type, especially this day and age with the creepypasta and everything. Just people argue like for real. It's kind of like the Mandela effect. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
Too. You want to run down all the superhero movies coming out now since we kind of touched on it?
We can.
Or do you have? Because the only reason I mention is like I have just the ones that I'm cringing. That I'm like,
that's okay. You're right here with me. I want to talk about the terrible comic book films that are coming out, and I'm going to start with the New Mutants.
Oh, God.
I'm not excited about this at all.
I'm looking at my screen right now. This is it, and then Venom right below it.
I'm not even excited for Dark Phoenix either.
That was my third one. It goes in order.
Dude, let's take the New Mutants first of all. It's supposed to be a horror film.
Is it a horror movie?
It's a horror movie.
Oh yeah, you didn't hear the another brick in the wall sung by kids in the background of the trailer?
Yeah,
that so immediately means horror.
Film.
Kids singing songs. It's not kids songs anymore. It's bad news.
and it supposedly takes place in the Xavier Institute.
No, it's a
like they're in the asylum.
Yeah, I forgot what the asylum was called, but it is from the X-Men universe.
Okay. Then you got Venom. Then you got Venom coming out, which there's like no sort. It's hard to say this. I hate that we may be looking at the first definitive failure of an amazing actor.
You think?
Tom Hardy?
So?
Honestly, it's hard to you. It's hard to see. It's hard to see this being good, which is what I'm actually excited about, because then that means it has room to surprise us.
See, I will say this. This is a cringeworthy. Ever since like Nate broke it to us when we were on I don't know. I want to say that was back in the teens, but I have that feeling like. But it may be that one. This like he may deliver a Heath Ledger situation as Eddie Brock / Venom, and even saying that it sounds completely ridiculous. But I want to believe in Tom Hardy. I want to believe in him.
I believe in Harvey Dent.
I believe in Harvey.
You know what? I honestly, I think this is gonna be a possible new school.
It could be
I think it's gonna be a new school Spawn. I feel like it's gonna be kind of like Spawn.
I mean, this is the first. This is like their first joint venture, Sony and Marvel. Like this is gonna be like the first one. Like
no, there's no joint venture.
No.
This is you know what Sony. I mean. Like this is the first one.
All Sony.
You don't remember?
Well,
you don't remember when she tried to
like this is the first one in like the Sony Marvel universe.
No,
but you know what I mean.
It's not gonna be.
This isn't going to exist in the MCU. Yeah,
this is the one that
I know it doesn't exist in the MCU. It's Sony's Marvel universe. Like this is the first film in Sony's Marvel universe, is what I'm telling you. Like I know it's not part of the MCU. This is the first film venture in Sony's Marvel universe, like the SMU.
Well, see,
not call it a universe just yet,
right? Because it's hard.
They are according to their website.
But remember, this is the one where the Sony executive tried to trick is it Jeff Johns into saying something?
No, Feige.
Yeah, Kevin Feige.
Sad Kevin Feige meme, yeah.
So no, that is why this is in trouble.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
What Venom honestly is a very 90s character to me. Like I don't care about
He's
Venom.
like Rhino. Like
or more like Carnage. Like Carnage is another one that would not work today.
Yeah.
It just doesn't
age.
Like
not as a main villain. Like it needs to be like oh, by the way, I took care of this in the 7 minutes of the movie. Let me get on back to the real villain. Because this day and age, it's all about psychological terrorism. You know what I mean? Like we're not worried about the big buff villain, per se. We want to taste and enjoy the chase.
You know
what? Dread it.
You know what?
Run from it.
You know what I kind of hate?
Destiny still arrives. That's what we want.
What I kind of hate is that I would much rather see Peter Parker in the Marvel Comics universe, the cinematic universe, as a villain using the black suit. Like, I would love to see everybody going after him, like after the suit has kind of taken him over and he's now a villain that is destroying everybody. I would love
actually
to see
like Unleashed with his full power because he's
Venom Unleashed. Yeah, that's the only way I see this actually working, is making Carnage and Venom these really top level like villains against a much bigger cinematic universe, because that's the only way their power scales properly. Like, if it being a standalone film, it's a kind of a waste. It's I don't want to see Venom like saving women from gang violence. I feel like that's a lot.
I'm going to be honest.
I think they're going to go the route.
I did not think that was the ending word of your sentence.
I think they're going to go the route of like he'll be named Eddie Brock, but he'll operate like how Flash Thompson operate, like a government operative sent to do missions like that.
But well,
like the one that's in like the Ultimate
they have to do that.
Cartoon series, like how that Venom is, or
I haven't seen the series. Well, if he was a government operative,
here's what
he was like a good guy.
Yeah, well, and what they're gonna probably have to do is separate the spider powers part of his abilities away from the suit. So like the suit will shift and things like that, but I don't see him like swinging from walls a lot and stuff.
No.
Yeah, it'll be more of a straight up, fight type of thing. Like Spawn.
What about our Arthur Curry?
So what?
Do you have some excitement about Arthur Curry?
The Aquaman.
The Aquaman. Yeah. Did you guys see the teaser about his fish hook?
No.
Oh, I've not. I've sequestered.
Yeah. IG. The director put a picture out on IG of what looks like his hand hook thing.
Okay.
So yeah. So I'm not excited about anything coming out of DC at all. I might even skip this one. I don't see this one. I don't know.
I would, if Justice League was better, I would have been more excited for it. But.
It has
I'm more excited
in it. How are you not excited?
And moving along, I'm more excited about
Willem Dafoe.
No, I'm more excited about there's like all of the different Teen Titans projects that are supposed to be coming out this year.
Yeah.
They got an animated film, but then there's also a series that's supposed to be happening as well. So I'm really excited about the Teen Titans series. I mean, if they take risks of putting the right, I just don't want to see no bullshit. I don't want to see them not put the Teen Titans in the film. Like, and I already know they're probably going to go the route of not putting Cyborg in, but putting Blue Beetle in instead, because he seems to be the swap out character for.
Yeah.
But I really hope that they have most of the actual
Young
team
Justice. Go more Young Justice instead of actual Teen Titans.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm gonna be real upset. If they bring up some obscure characters from issue 325.
No, well, they've already announced, like, there's Robin, there's Beast Boy, there's Raven,
Starfire,
Starfire,
Hawk and Dove, definitely.
See, I don't really want to see Hawk and Dove. I'd much rather see, to round out that group, Blue Beetle and Star Sapphire, and that's it.
And see, Hawk and Dove, like I
don't think they're actually part of the team, though, because I mean, Hawk eventually becomes a bad guy in the comics. So I think if I had to take a guess, in the first season of Teen Titans, we'll see Hawk become a bad guy.
I always more associated them in the Justice League Unlimited, Hawk and Dove. Like, that's what I'm more familiar. Of course, then again, I'm not as comic based as Nate here, but that's what I always tied them.
I mean, they're not characters anybody really cares about.
But the reason why you're probably seeing them is from that, because we're seeing a lot more storylines from Justice League Unlimited in the TV series. So I don't think you're off base by mentioning those appearances there.
A lot of shows have started to take that to heart. Even what you and I were talking about with Dragon Ball, taking like the non-canon movies and applying it to their series. I feel like that's just what a lot of these franchises are starting to do, just because just to kind of mirror what Nate was saying earlier, there is so much material in comics going back decades and decades and decades of great stories. It's a bottomless pit full of material. for them
Right.
that they can always tap into, and there's so many alternate options on every single character that they have that they have so much that they can provide to us. Like, just to kind of circle back around to our original point when Jodie Foster was blasting on this, like I appreciate it. Like a lot of other people appreciate it because it is the pop movie formula, but it's just awesome to see this type of stuff in this day and age. You know what I mean? Like looking back at the Thor of the 70s versus the Thor of today, like I feel like it's really incredible. And just to even be talking about a Teen Titans movie when you and I were kids watching Teen Titans before it was Teen Titans Go, when it was like the real Teen Titans, like Justice League style animation.
Yeah.
Like that was when I really appreciated that. So that's really exciting. I agree with
it. To round out the hour, because we're getting toward the end of our episode.
Did we touch Deadpool?
We had not touched Deadpool yet, but we'll get there in a second because we're going to talk about the ones that we think are going to be the biggest runaway hits of the year.
Yes.
Derek mentioned Expendables. He mentioned Expendables already. Expendables 4, I don't think is going to actually come out in 2018. It has been announced, TBA, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to hit in 2018. I think it's going to end up 2019. And then, of course, we got Scarface coming out at the end of the summer. The remake of Scarface, and I'm really worried about that because Scarface is like
exactly. You don't leave it alone.
I mean,
it's hard. We've already been watered down. Like I
think the Al Pacino one was a remake in itself, wasn't it?
It was, but it did something completely different though. Like it was. There were other movies called Scarface before that, but did its own thing. It wasn't going toward that classical mobster film. It went more toward the drug empire of the time and more toward what was going to be happening moving forward. But this one is going to be a remake of that of the Al Pacino one. So I was really worried when I saw that this was coming out. I don't know about this one. This one I feel like is going to be the All Eyes on Me this year.
and how many that Scarface set the precedence for that type of character in movies and TV shows and series. We've seen Scarface for the past 30 years everywhere. Hell, even Narcos, you know what I mean? Like that's Scarface, you know what I mean? So like redoing this is like we've already seen this movie. This is Bullet Time. We already saw Bullet Time. This isn't anything new for us.
It's just something no one asked for.
Yeah.
Yes. Perfect. That was a perfect summation.
Yeah.
You know, we should remake Scarface. Great idea. Let's do it.
What? You got like 20-25 million just sitting around?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
So, guys, we have a surplus in the budget this year. We got to spend it on something.
Right? We got to put a movie out. Universal is just overflowing in wealth from The Mummy, and the Dark Universe just flowing out. They just figured, let's go ahead and do Scarface.
Hey, quick question, guys. Did either of you guys see... so stupid. Did you guys see Sicario? Did you guys see Sicario 1?
Yeah.
The sequel is coming out this year.
Yeah, I never saw Sicario. Is it worth going back to see?
I really enjoy the director. He makes these very, I don't know, artsy movies, I guess. Jodie Foster probably loves them. But he did like Prisoners. He did Arrival. He did the new Blade Runner. He's not doing the second Sicario, but he did the first one. So,
but is the movie good though?
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Sicario.
It doesn't need a sequel. Like I thought it
doesn't need a sequel
as is. Yeah. Benicio del Toro.
This may hinder you wanting to watch it.
And Sicario.
Dude.
Okay. Yeah. All right, I'm adding that to my list for this week.
My only
it's on Amazon, I believe.
My only disclaimer to you is just because I know how you don't like if you're going to start a series, why they made a sequel, or if you already know how it's like going to wrap up. With you knowing that a sequel's coming out, I don't know if that's going to like hinder it, but like Nate said, it did not need. I don't know why. There's another one.
Yeah, surplus.
Well, we're getting down to that end of that power hour. Let's see what time. Yeah, it's about that time, guys. So let's get to wrapping it up, and we're going to wrap it up with what we think are going to be the biggest blockbusters of this year. And of course, Derek, you've been waiting patiently to talk about this one all show long. So it's time for you to do it.
The Player Way.
In time, you will know what it's like to lose, to feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail all the same. Dread it, run from it, destiny still arrives. That's what I'm dead ass. I need them stones.
Undoubtedly going to be the biggest movie of the year.
That's it.
Like, man.
That's it.
Every time, like I've watched the trailer now on average once every 2 days now, just to get that feeling of
it's
a true villain just mollywopping
like
somebody.
That make me wish that like you could pay a premium when you buy your initial ticket.
It's done right now.
No, not even that. I wish when you buy your ticket, you could pay an exorbitant amount to get a copy of the film to watch when you go home. Because it's one of those films that you're gonna definitely want to see 2 or 3 times in the theater. It's gonna be sex for the eyes.
Dude, this is gonna be like, I feel like this one's gonna start and just start like boom. We're just in the business because we don't need nothing else but just action.
Exactly.
We about that action.
Indeed. Nate, your thoughts
on Infinity War? Biggest movie of the year, guarantee it. It's gonna make the most money. I don't think any other movie will come close.
Do you think that's the reason why? Well, I don't know. I feel like that's the reason why Han Solo film is being kind of put in different times. I don't know. I feel like nobody wants to go after this film for the rest of the year.
Why would
Well, it comes out like 2 or 3 weeks after Infinity War, surprisingly.
Does it? I thought it came out early.
It's like May 27th.
Yeah, it's like in the 20th. Yeah. Like
Oh,
Memorial Day weekend probably released. They're trying to.
But let's not even before Infinity War. Next month, around
Black
Valentine's Day, traveling to Wakanda.
Boom!
Step
into the spotlight.
You mentioned Creed. How much you like Creed? The director of Creed, Ryan Coogler.
Absolutely.
Going to be doing this.
And Michael B. Jordan.
I feel
also
like
known as the other Johnny Storm.
and what's crazy is there's a lot.
I'm waiting my whole life for this.
There's a whole lot. You're so stupid.
I'll burn it all. I'm kind of worried. We're so used to seeing Michael B. Jordan as playing like, I don't know. Like, it'll be interesting to see him as a villain. I'm hoping he pulls it off.
He's a pretty good actor.
I think he's going to do it. If he does, it's definitely going to add more wrinkles to his game. But this film, I'm a little concerned. I'm a little worried because I feel like between this, Infinity War coming right after it, and then you also got Ant-Man and Wasp coming this year as well. It's a lot. It's a lot to live up to.
It's a lot. Black Panther, I think. Well, I know you were. I feel like that one's going to be set. What the one that I'm going to be more concerned about is Ant-Man and the Wasp coming after Infinity War. Like, I feel like that's that movie's like. I still feel like that movie's coming out. Like,
it's sort of. I don't
really care that
it came out right after Ultron.
Avengers 2. Yeah.
Like
And I remember like
later.
I watched Ant-Man, but like I watched it one time. You know what I mean? Like,
Ant-Man's a personal favorite of mine, one of them. I just think, the heart of the movie is just a guy, Hank Pym has a line in the movie, be the hero your daughter already thinks you are. That's
true.
The theme of the movie, and I love that. I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot.
I think they do.
So I'm looking forward to Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Me too. I just kind of feel like Avengers, like Infinity is just going to, this is the morning. Yes.
It's interesting. If there's a year for Marvel to disappoint us, it'll be this one. And but I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to do it. And I think they're going to blow.
I just need some clarification. When you say Marvel going to disappoint us,
I said if there was a year that they would disappoint us, it would be.
Are you just saying specific to that movie or just overall?
I'm saying to have a dud. I'm saying if there was a year to have something,
including like New Mutants and X-Men. Or just MCU?
No, New Mutants doesn't.
Okay.
How dare you besmirch
the
name?
You?
How dare you?
Right.
I'm not going to let you.
How dare all of you?
Although this is echoing what people said when Ant-Man 1 came out. You know, like
exactly.
I don't know. This could be the first Marvel bomb. And
although you did say you hated the villain in Ant-Man though originally.
Well, yeah. I mean, the villain's your typical Marvel villain, but he isn't. No,
I hate that actor. He kind of ruined himself during that
House
character he played. He did too good of a job playing that character. So like to take him seriously as a guy just ready to kill himself. Ready to kill himself. Screws up one last time.
Manipulated.
Yeah.
Commit suicide in the passenger seat. You know you're a broke ass character if no one even cared to investigate that you were in the passenger seat. Like,
God, well, I think Ant-Man was in production during a time where they were. I mean, I say during a time, it was 3 years ago, but they were doing like in your origin story, you always had a villain that was similar to you, to that person, you know?
Yeah.
So I think with the next one, they have Ghost.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's supposed to be a story of them searching for Janet Van Dyne. So we'll see.
Well, guys, it's time to shut it down. Anything else you guys got for the good of the order before we sew this one up?
I'm gonna just keep seeing when the Netflix got some good docu-series going on right now. And
we definitely got an episode coming up where we'll talk about stuff that's on demand. We mainly talked about things that are on the Blockbuster service, but we will be running down your all of the things that are coming up on demand on YouTube. We definitely need to talk about Facebook stream soon because there are some series on that as well, and talk about the landscape of that. Nate, I think you said you had something to add to it.
Well, I was just gonna say one more movie I'm excited for is Incredibles 2.
Yeah. Derek had mentioned that a little bit earlier too, but I'm a little concerned about that one too, though. I'm like, what? We didn't really need a sequel.
Yes, we did need a sequel. I needed a sequel 8 years ago.
Yeah,
yes, like, 8 years ago. There you go.
Like what? Yes. And it bugs me that it's taking place right after the first one. Like I wanted to see Dash as a 14-year-old.
And I'm pissed I never got a Frozone movie.
Where is my super suit?
Exactly.
Where is my super suit?
Exactly. Frozone needed his own film.
He did.
But all superhero lives matter.
He had to go. I have nothing to say.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, with all due respect, I've been your resident DJ BK, helping you understand how to do and curate your media
the player way.
Along with my co-captains, Derek.
That's me, Corrupting the System, at Corrupting the System on IG. Take out the vowels on Twitter, and you can find me and call me Tyrone. Or Derek, whatever.
And Nate.
That's me. You can find me nowhere.
Never. Find me nowhere. Basically, nowhere. You may be able to find Nate nowhere, although Lil Birdie told me you can find him at NPGPX on Instagram. But you can find us on Instagram at Play Life Your Way or at Corrupting the System. You can also find us at PlayLifeYourWay.com or PlayYourWayPodcast.com. You can also find us on YouTube, the Play Your Way Podcast, Play Your Way Network, and for sure you can definitely find us on Facebook, the Play Your Way Network. Like, subscribe, all of those things. Follow the hashtags, indeed. We're going to continue to give you constant media.
The Player Way.
So stay with us. Thank you so much for being here. And if there's nothing else for the good of the order, we can tie this one right on up. Nate?
Boom.
Peace out, Rabbit.
See y'all next week.
Dread it. Run from it.
And we can stop recording.
Boom.
Thank you guys so much for helping me out this week, man. I got through it. I was you ever been in that? Have you ever been in that like NyQuil coma on the couch where your whole body is warm and you're like, I can't tell if it's the NyQuil making me warm or if it's a fever coming on.
Like, am I breaking this? Am I getting better? Did I just drink some poison? I have no idea. But I'm just gonna be still.
When he said that, you sure you want to do this? I almost pressed the reset button. Almost was like, But no, we got to. This is the job now. This is my job. This is what I do. If you're still watching us on YouTube, which you're probably not, but if you are, thank you so much for watching us. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, all of that stuff, and we'll see you next time.
Boom.